What is going on? We are live here in the Boxing Fanatico live episode 28. Can you believe it? We've made it to 28 episodes. What was that? Something just fell in the background. Oh, well, here we go. What is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? We have to start off, of course, with why is my super chat gone? Hold on. What's going on here? Hold on. I got to make sure that this is on and popping because super chats matter. Let's see here. There we go. Starting off with Hashim. Let's go, champ. As always, thank you very much, brother. Then we got Adrian Dones in the house. What's up, Fanatico and chat? What's going on, man? What's going on? All right, so we're going to talk about a few things today. If you guys are looking at the title, yes, it is confirmed. ESPN has confirmed it. Mike Coppinger has confirmed it, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the article that was updated today where they confirmed that it will Canelo Alvarez will be fighting Jermall Charlo. It will be at 168 and it will be for undisputed. So for the first time in history, I think we have a potential to have two undisputed twin brothers in the same exact era, which is crazy. We have the potential. The potential doesn't mean it's going to happen, but we have the potential. It is a huge opportunity for Jermall Charlo. That is correct, Hashim. Huge opportunity. ASB PTV, what exactly has Charlo been dealing with to keep him inactive so long? I do not know. But I do know for a fact that he's been inactive for over 2 years. In July, it will make exactly 2 years of inactivity, and we're about to hit July. We're just a few days away from hitting July, and that is unfortunate because he will be at an immense disadvantage versus Canelo Alvarez. So whoever's picking Charlo to win, kudos to you. You're going out on a limb with that one. You are picking the mega underdog. I'm sure when the numbers come out, when the over-under, when the plus-minuses in terms of the betting odds release, that, can you guys hear me, by the way? You guys can hear me, right? Yeah. Just want to make sure. Yeah, you guys can hear me. When the betting odds come out, he will be a major underdog versus Canelo. That is my expectation for that. Hold on one second. Huge opportunity. Yes, sir. I would have liked to see Charlo at least get a fight or two in before this, but maybe that's not as enticing for Canelo. Maybe Canelo wants to have a Charlo fight because it's a name. It could get him some decent pay-per-view numbers. He's probably not as ready as he should be, which allows Canelo to have a good, clean step in first fight with PBC and then start moving on to fighting Benavidez. My prediction still holds that Charlo being that first fight, which has essentially come to fruition, but the second fight will be Benavidez. And I've seen a lot of mention of a lot of different fighters. People are even talking about the potential for a Caleb Plant rematch. I don't think that is necessary, not even in the slightest. But hey, well, if it makes sense, I guess. But to me, I don't know if you guys think this. There's so many other people he could be fighting for a 3-fight deal that does not involve Caleb Plant. Especially since Benavidez already beat him. He already beat him. I don't think anybody really wants to see that fight. That's just my opinion, though. Do you think Tank and Spence would happen? What? Tank versus Spence? No, I don't think that would ever. I don't think that would ever happen. To be honest, Spence is barely at 147. He's kept himself there, but he's barely there. And Tank, I guess he could touch 140 if he wants to, but that's too far away. That's too far away, in my opinion. I think Spence is gonna move up after the Crawford fight. I don't have Tank fighting Spence. Even if they had a confrontation, I just can't see it. If he does fight Spence, that would be miraculous. That would be like he would he would leapfrog over, like in terms of accomplishing something great in boxing, he would leapfrog over the likes of like a Teofimo Lopez, in my opinion, who, by the way, in terms of doing things in the ring, because I'm sure he's not a bigger star than Tank, but in terms of doing things in the ring, Teofimo Lopez is pretty up there. And he got a loss. So it's like he got a loss and he's still doing his thing. The loss has not deterred him from looking flashy and beating the likes of a Josh Taylor and a Lomachenko, in which when he beat Lomachenko, although people always want to, like, this is one of the reasons why I hate the boy who cried robbery, because people always want, like, if their favorite fighter loses, they always want to say it's a robbery. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. Manny Pacquiao was a beast, but I watched the Jeff Horn versus Manny Pacquiao fight, and to me, you could have given it to Jeff Horn, but people said that it was a robbery. When Teofimo Lopez lost to Lomachenko, beat Lomachenko, I guarantee you years later, people are going to be like, oh, that's the one that they robbed Lomachenko from. But if you watch the fight, Teofimo Lopez won that fight. So he legitimately beat Lomachenko in the first fight. He beat him much easier, in my opinion, than Devin Haney did when he fought Lomachenko, and he beat not an undefeated Lomachenko, but a Lomachenko that hadn't lost since his second fight to Orlando Salido. And then after that fight, that's when he beat the likes of Guillermo Rigondeaux, right, and others. He was killing it. Gary Russell Jr. He was doing his thing. So he beat an essentially unbeaten Lomachenko from the moment that he started to take off, right? When he won that world title against Gary Russell Jr. in his third fight. So in my opinion, I think Teofimo Lopez, in terms of his in-ring ability, he's the best of those guys right now. He's the best in terms of like accomplishments. He's the best, even better than Devin Haney. Because if you look at Devin Haney, sure, he's undisputed, but Teofimo Lopez technically was already undisputed. On top of that, he beat the same guy that makes Devin Haney go up there. Like, he beat Lomachenko before Devin Haney beat him. And then he also went on to 140 and beat Josh Taylor, who was undisputed. So, I don't know, man. Teofimo Lopez is doing his thing. But let's briefly talk about Berlanga's fight, Erickson Lubin's fight. Those fights took place on Saturday. Berlanga, I don't know if it was just me, but I'm watching Berlanga. He lacks the ability to cut off the ring. I see that. But he was picking this dude apart the whole fight. Like, the dude was barely doing anything the whole fight. But for some reason, and nothing against Sergio Mora, but Sergio Mora was like only caring about what was the guy's name? He was only caring about Andy Lee's fighter, man. What's his name, guys? I could search it up, but I completely forgot. But he was only caring about him. Whenever he landed a little tap jab, he would be like, look at that beautiful jab that he landed. And before he landed that tap, Quigley, there you go, Quigley. Before he landed that tap jab, Berlanga landed stiff, like 3 stiff, bam, bam, bam jabs, got the tap jab, and landed a crazy stiff jab right after. And then Sergio Mora's like, look at this amazing jab and the head movement. Meanwhile, he's getting caught. He got dropped 4 times in the fight. And mind you, he's still, after 2 times getting dropped, he's still saying Quigley doing his thing. I was so confused. I was looking at my wife. I'm like, is me and Sergio Mora watching the same fight? The person holding the center of the ring is Berlanga. The person who's completely, like, it's not even close in terms of landed power punches, in terms of overall landed punches, is Berlanga when they pulled up the stats of the copy box stats in like round 6. But for some reason, Sergio Mora was like, this fight is close. And if anything, oh, by the way, King Zeus is here. What's going on, brother? Thank you for showing up. He's doing his thing, man. He's killing him. He's killing him. And it's like he got dropped twice, and somehow He's still in the fight. He's still winning. Got dropped twice. Getting outscored by almost 50% by Berlanga. Like, it was the most confusing thing I've ever... No, I understand, Adrian Dones. Sometimes you got to mute the commentary. And I don't care about the commentary. Because usually the commentary be sometimes a little off, or sometimes it seems weird. But this is the most relentless I've ever seen one commentator just go at, like, just had this one thought of what's going on in the ring, and nothing phased what he would, like, nothing shook him. Like, it didn't matter how many times Berlanga rocked quickly. It didn't matter how many times Berlanga dropped quickly. It didn't matter how long he was holding the center of the ring, which was the entire fight. It didn't matter that the copy box numbers came up and he was landing like 30 or 40 more punches than Quigley. The jab that he was like, I think at one point, Sergio Mora said that he's out jabbing. Okay, like he hit him with some power punches, but he's out jabbing him. Then the jab stats came out, and they were essentially even in terms of the jab. Although Berlanga's jabs were super stiff, so they were really beating him up. But Berlanga had like 2 more jabs. So even though they were essentially even, he still like had 2 more jabs than him, and then he had like a boatload of power shots over him. It was very confusing. In my opinion, Berlanga did an amazing job in his fight. He did really, really good. He lacked the ability to cut off the ring. Had he put that into the equation better, he would have done well. Of course, he got tagged here and there, but by no means was he in this back and forth fight that Sergio Mora was seeing. And once again, nothing against Sergio Mora, just very weird. Like, it was incredibly weird to me when I was watching it and I was hearing that. I've never seen it that, like, I've never seen somebody stick to their guns that much. Like, we've seen Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward go at it, because Timothy Bradley likes what one person is doing and Andre Ward likes what somebody else is doing. But after a certain point, they start to like fuse together depending on who's actually winning in the fight. And to me, Berlanga was clearly winning, but you never got that reciprocated by Sergio Mora the entire time. So very weird. Very, very weird. And Andy Lee was adding to the fuel. Like, he kept telling us quickly, like, yo, you're winning the fight. My man got dropped twice. We're in like the 6th round. How is he winning this fight? And every round he came back to the corner and quickly was like, you did another. Andy Lee was like, that's another one in the bag. I'm like, what? Am I in the Twilight? Am I in the Twilight Zone? Yo, he's smiling at him. And then when the fight was over, they picked him up. He was holding his hand up. It was, I could have sworn I was in the Twilight Zone, guys. I could have sworn I was in the Twilight Zone. I'm like, what is happening? This is not like, this doesn't make any sense. This is just a Berlanga straight through fight. Like, maybe 1 or 2 rounds can go to Quigley. That's it. That's my opinion of that. Erickson Lubin, not much to say there. He did his thing. He did his thing. He showed why. By the way, guys, back in I think maybe 2017, during the time when he debuted in the same year that Tank debuted, Erickson Lubin. And I remember that I did Prospect of the Year. And although hindsight, is 2020, obviously Tank has done more in terms of increasing his popularity. I had Erickson Lubin as Prospect of the Year. If you could actually go back on this channel, go back to my video when I did Prospect of the Year. I had Erickson Lubin. It was between Erickson Lubin and Tank, and I put Erickson 2013. Didn't Tank? Nah, didn't they debut? Nah, he didn't debut in 2013. Let me double check. Or actually, you know what? I could be wrong. That could be when he did debut, but when he was actually gaining popularity and becoming a prospect was probably around 2017. But yeah, I did Prospect of the Year that year, or was it 2016? I did Prospect of the Year One of those, you could go back and see it. And I had Erickson Lubin as the prospect of the year. I picked him as prospect of the year, but over time, Tank, he showed, what he could do. Although to me, Erickson Lubin has taken the much tougher challenges than Tank. And I mean, yesterday was just a masterclass. Erickson Lubin had a clear masterclass yesterday, and or not yesterday, yesterday in his fight, and I think he just did an amazing job. This dude was just not like letting his opponent was nowhere near him, not on his level in any way, shape, or form. Erickson Lubin was just that good. Just that good. We got Love C Shorty here, just stopping by for a minute while at work. $2 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. We gotta hit it with the $2. We gotta hit it with the super chat. We gotta hit it with the super chat. Here we go. I forgot to do the horns while I did that. Hold on. Where the horn? Why the horn not working? Let's time that again. Let's do that again. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. All right, let's go ahead. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Also, we haven't even started this with the Let's Get Ready to Rumble, so that reminds me, we got to do the Let's Get Ready to Rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Perfect. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let's find out what you guys were saying. Let's see. Tank by KO. What, in terms of Spence versus Tank? I don't know, bro. I think Spence is too big for Tank. I think he might be able to. He's big, but he's also skilled, right? Because weight, it could only take you so far. But weight and skill, that's too tough to overcome. And I think that he'll be able to. I really do think that Spence will be able to basically control Tank. Also, it's hard to say how good Tank really is until we see him fight that upper echelon type of fighters, right? I mean, he's out here fighting Ryan Garcias and Rolly Romero's, but I want to see him versus the Devin Haney's and the Lomachenkos and the Tiafimos and the Shakurs. I want to see those kind of fights to see if he even can hang with somebody like Spence has proven himself through and through, 10 times over, right? He's fighting the likes of a Danny Garcia. He's fighting Kell Brook, Sean Porter. So I don't even know if Tank is even on his level, to be honest. It doesn't, yes, he gets knockouts at 135 and 140, but can he go up to fight a Spence that's barely making 147? And he's going to rehydrate to a crazy amount. I don't know. It's pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult, in my opinion, to see Tank beating Errol Spence Jr. Shane Boze, what's going on, man? What's up? Adrian Jones, I see Canelo's plan for the longest. They have said that Canelo's ducking Charlo, David, and Boo Boo. Now he planning to run through them. Yeah. So basically, signing with the PBC to me was one of the biggest flex that I've ever seen come from Canelo and his team. It is one of the biggest flex ever because once you sign a 3-fight deal, he didn't sign a 1-fight deal. 1 fight is just like a get in and get out. Let me fight Charlo and let me leave, right? A 3-fight deal is like, yo, y'all really think I'm scared of Benavidez? Y'all really think that, I don't want to fight Benavidez? Okay, cool. Let's sign a 3-fight contract. And if I beat him, then I'll go and fight Boo Boo. That's the flex that I got from Canelo because he went to PBC for a 3-fight deal. He went to the PBC for a 3-fight deal. It proves to me that he want to fight all those guys. Because you don't do a 3-fight deal when you don't have to. He don't have to do a 3-fight deal. That's Canelo Alvarez. That's Saul Canelo Alvarez. He don't have to do a 3-fight deal if he don't want to. He's one of the most sought after boxers from all these promotional companies are always looking to sign Canelo. Like Eddie Hearn feeling sad because Canelo left. Right? So he's sought after. So he doesn't have to. He could easily be like, yo, I'll do a 1-fight deal. That's it. 1-fight deal. Give me $60 million and we set. And what do you think PBC gonna say? No? Heck no. They might say, yo, please, come on. 2 fights or whatever. He might be like, nah, 1 fight. They're gonna be like, all right, whatever. We'll get you for 1. That's Canelo. That's how big Canelo is. For him to say, yeah, 100 million, 3 fights, let's go. That's amazing. That's amazing. Chill Will 21, what's going on, brother? YouTube Boxing 6007, we gotta have you in here. We gotta have you in here. Stupid question. If you ever get called out for a match with another famous YouTuber, would you ever box in Misfits Boxing? Yeah, I probably would. I'll just go back to training. I mean, I already hit the punching bags here. I mean, go back to a little bit of training, and it all depends who I got to match up against. If they're going to put me against, you know what I'm saying, like another pro boxer that's doing Misfit Cross, I don't know about that. But if it's somebody else that's, you know, training, maybe, you know. I would definitely take it into consideration. 100%. I would definitely take it. It would be fun. Why not? Adrian Dones, they put a little too much pressure on Berlanga. They have to take a few more fights before he fights Jaime. Yeah. He said he wants Jaime Munguia, but we got something special for Jaime Munguia. We got something special, and I got it on the back end. I'm going to show you guys, but we got something special with Jaime Munguia. Thoughts on Crawford's resume? That's usually the first criticism I hear for him is he hasn't fought anybody. I wouldn't say he hasn't fought anybody. I think him fighting Amir Khan, to me, that's somebody, right? And Jay Shep just wilded out. He just, oh my gosh. Jay Shep was, hold up, let me go. I'll get right back to it. My man dropped a $50 super chat. My goodness gracious. Let's go ahead and hit this man with the $50, the $20 plus super chat video.
This the real deal.
It's the real deal. My man said no. My man said no. No.
This the real deal.
You know what? We about to wild out. Hold on.
17 years.
We about to wild out.
This the real deal. This the real deal.
Let's get ready.
Unbelievable. Amazing. Thank you very much, brother. That's crazy. Hold on. What did you say? Been a while, fam. Glad I could catch you to show support. Thank you so much. $50 dropped. That's insane. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And you already know when it comes to me and you, if I'm always an open book. You could always communicate with me if you have any questions about anything, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that. That touched my heart. Thank you. Now let me go back to what you were saying. ASVP TV. Thank you so much again, Jay Shep, for the $50. So he fought the likes of Akel Brook, right? Coming off of 3 wins. He fought the likes of Amir Khan. He beat Jeff Horn, who beat Manny Pacquiao, right? He went to the UK to beat Ricky Burns as the underdog to continue his path to becoming undisputed at 140, right? He beat Victor Postal to become undisputed at 140. He's been knocking everybody out. He beat Sean Porter by knockout at 147. So, in my opinion, I think he has a really good resume. Do I think he has a better resume than Errol Spence at 147? It's tough to say because I lean towards Spence. I lean towards what Spence has, but there are arguments on the side of Terrence Crawford. He beat Sean Porter just the same way Errol Spence beat Sean Porter, but he did it a little bit better. Actually, a lot better. He did it a lot better, right? With Errol Spence, the fight almost could have gone either way. With Terrence Crawford, he knocked him out first time ever, right? He beat Kell Brook better than Errol Spence beat Kell Brook, right? Even though Errol Spence got Kell Brook out of there, he got Kell Brook out of there earlier, right? In a devastating fashion, just hitting him up, and the referee had to stop it. He was wobbling, moving from pillar to post, right? So it was one of those kind of things where he did damage. And Kell Brook came off of 3 consecutive wins before he fought Terrence Crawford. So it's tough to say, to be honest, but this is why this fight, in my opinion, is one of the truest 50-50 fights that exist in boxing. Is one of the truest 50-50 fights that exist in boxing. And we clearly could see that, putting this fight together is this era, the after post 2015, is this era's, the 2020s Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, or Floyd Mayweather versus Oscar De La Hoya, right? Or Oscar De La Hoya versus Shane Mosley, or Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler. This is our fight for boxing. This is the most important fight to see who's going to be number 1 pound for pound, to be undisputed at 147 in the 4-belt era. The first time ever anybody's ever going to do that, or the first time ever anyone ever has done that. Terrence Crawford has the opportunity to, on paper, technically be the first male boxer to become multi-divisional undisputed in the 4-belt era. It's just an incredible story behind it. I think that they're fairly even in their accomplishments, but I do predict that Crawford will win by knockout in that fight. Not to take anything away from Errol Spence, I think Terrence Crawford just has a little bit more tools than Errol Spence, and his ability to adjust is just incredibly powerful. While Errol Spence, his whole thing is that he has a really high gear and an incredibly high output, but Spence gets hit a lot, and he looks like he gets in a lot of trouble sometimes when he's in there. I think Bud is going to capitalize on his mistakes. The large output of Spence, that's normally his defense and his offense, is gonna work against him, against Terrence Crawford, who's great at counterpunching and amazing at finishing his opponents when he sees that they're hurt. All right, let's see. Berlanga Jaime is gonna be fireworks. Yeah, that'd be good. I don't know if Berlanga is ready yet, though. I don't know. Tank ain't beating no Bud or Spence. Nath was good. King Juice, love to see you here, brother. Love to see you here. Nello and Benavidez in May would hit different. Yeah. It would. I mean, he's obviously gonna take the crown for 2024. Yeah, he's gonna take the 2024 crown. But for definitely, he is not going to be fighting him this year, which kind of sucks. But listen, I'm not mad. Like, him fighting Jermall Charlo, if he would have fought Jermall Charlo off of this 1-fight deal, I would have been pissed. But him fighting Jermall Charlo off of a 3-fight deal, it's like, bro, he's just getting his three fight completed. That's it. He's just trying to complete his 3-fight contract. And there's not many people you could pick from. So there's Jermall Charlo, there's Boo Boo Andre, and there's Benavidez. So I'm positive. I'm almost positive that May is going to be Canelo versus David Benavidez. Almost positive. What weight class would you be? If I fought, what weight class? I will probably have to be somewhere in the. I will have to go down to like maybe 160, 168. I'll probably have to go down to 168. Yeah, because I got a lot of weight on me, so I'm gonna have to go down to like 168 if I was to fight one of these misfit boxing events. Shakur has openly said that Bud whooped his butt sparring one day, and most people have Shakur beating Tank. So clearly we can't see Tank beating Bud or Spence. That's true. That's true. I mean, you can't take too much from sparring because it is sparring. And but the way that Shakur was talking about it, he was talking about it in the way that they were sparring in a competitive sense. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes they don't just work on something. Sometimes they're like, Let me see if I could beat you, or let me see if I could get the better of you in this sparring session. And it looked to me, the way Shakur talks about that sparring session with Bud, was that he was trying to get the better of Bud, and Bud was not letting him get the better of him. Therefore, that's one of the reasons why Shakur thinks that Bud Crawford is probably one of the best fighters in the world, if not the best fighter in the world, because Shakur has essentially sparred with everyone. He sparred with Tank. He sparred with Loma. He sparred with every single person. He's probably sparred with Errol Spence before as well. He sparred with everybody. This dude that sparred everyone. But the only one that made him go, damn, this dude is nice, like that, where he could remember it and he thinks about that, is Bud Crawford. So yeah, in that sense, but styles make fights, so you never know. Shakur does not have the power that Tank has. Why can't Berlanga beat Jaime? I don't know if he could or couldn't beat him right now. He might be able to. I just don't think he's ready for him. I don't think he's ready for him. Beating Quigley, to me, doesn't put you there. Like, it's good, it's decent, but it doesn't put you like, okay, now you're ready to fight a Jaime Munguia, in my opinion. He could fight him and best him. That's very possible. But I would want to see him have a little bit more of a step up with a different fighter, and then see how he does there. And then from that point, maybe we start talking about Jaime Munguia. That's just my opinion. But like I said, it's not so much that I don't think he could beat him. I just don't know if he's ready. Because sometimes people, we ain't know Lomachenko was ready for Gary Russell Jr., but then they threw him in there, and it was after he lost to Orlando Salido. I'm sure that a lot of people were saying he's not ready for this. He was a massive underdog against Gary Russell Jr., but then he ended up going against Gary Russell Jr. and beating him. So it's not so much that he wouldn't beat him. I just don't know if, like, in terms of the ladder, if he's ready to have that fight just yet. He might be ready. I just, in my opinion, I think one more good fight, and then maybe he can have a Jaime Munguia fight. All right, so hold on one second. We got Poe in the house. Fanatico, what's going on, brother? Love to see you. Love to have you here. They both will be hitting each other. Yeah, 100%. It'll be a killer fight. Like Jaime Munguia just came out of a crazy battle. So yeah, I think it would definitely be an amazing fight to watch. I'm talking in the perspective of, is this for Berlanga to win, to continue his career forward? I think it might be a little bit risky for him right now. But let's take a look at this real quick, so we can look at the Jaime Munguia. Well, actually, before we look at the Jaime Munguia situation, just so you guys see what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and put it on picture-in-picture. We have on ESPN, this is ESPN right here, guys, Canelo Alvarez. You can see the date right here, June 26th. Canelo Alvarez will face Jermall Charlo in the first of a three-fight deal. Alvarez signed with PBC. The fight is targeted to be held in September and broadcast on Showtime pay-per-view. Now, this is Mike Coppinger and Ben Baby. Mike Coppinger, if you don't know, he's the guy that broke the story that Canelo was signing a three-fight deal. Canelo broke the story that he signed with PBC. Mike Coppinger gave us the information that it was a three-fight deal. So he's in the no. He knows. He really knows. So according to his sources, which is internally with PBC and Showtime, that the Jermall Charlo fight is the next fight of the three-fight deal. Charlo, 32-0, 22 knockouts, is the WBC middleweight champion, but he hasn't fought since a decision victory over Juan Montiel in June 2021. He'll move up in weight to challenge Alvarez for his undisputed middleweight championship, super middleweight championship. So it will be for Canelo's undisputed titles. This is huge. This is huge that he's actually going to fight for the undisputed titles at 168. I find this to be incredibly commendable for Canelo. The stakes are higher because he's doing this, and it gives the potential for Jermall Charlo and his brother Jermell to be the first ever undisputed twins in boxing history, or maybe even undisputed brothers, right? Because the only reason Vladimir and Vitaly weren't undisputed at the same time was because their mother refused to have both of them fight each other, right? So I don't know about you guys, but I know it's weird. They're brothers. But that sucked that they were brothers. Because I needed to know who was the better one of the two. In my opinion, I think Vitali may have gotten that win if Vitali would have fought against Vladimir, but they never fought. So whatever. Anyways, these two guys are in two completely different divisions. One is at 154, and the other is going to move up to 168 to capture the undisputed 4 belts to be undisputed, and then it'll be him and his brother in the 4-belt era. That's absolutely poetic, but that's probably not going to happen. But the interest and the intrigue has just been heightened just that little bit more to me, that much more, because the titles are on the line. It's like finally he's defending the undisputed titles. This is awesome. This is a little bit more, fun, right, to watch. So yeah, he's going to be defending his titles. They also talked about potential fighters for him. They said Errol Spence Jr. could be a potential fight for him. They said Caleb Plant rematch, which I think is just horrific. Don't do that. Stop, please. No, we don't want to see that. Could be a potential fight for him. They also said Boo Boo Andre. And I think those are the ones that they've mentioned. I don't think they mentioned anyone other than those guys. So yeah, it's confirmed, guys. We're probably going to get an official announcement and a press conference soon. But Canelo Alvarez, according to Mike Coppinger and ESPN, will be facing Jermall Charlo next in his for his 3-fight deal. As we predicted here on Boxing Fanatico Live, we pretty much assumed that the first fight wouldn't even make sense for it to be Benavidez. But knowing that it's 3 fights, I ain't mad at the Jermall Charlo fight. Now, this is what's looking like is getting set up over here. Oscar De La Hoya tweeted, "Awesome news. Jaime Munguia is very interested in fighting Benavidez. Looking forward to starting discussions and what could possibly be fight of the year." So we got nonstop puncher and Jaime Munguia versus nonstop puncher and Benavidez, and they trying to set that fight up. We do know that Benavidez is 100% interested in this fight. We now know that Jaime Munguia is interested in this fight. We also know that the promotional company, Oscar De La Hoya, is interested in making this fight. This is a fight that I would 100% much rather see than Berlanga versus Jaime Munguia. If Jaime Munguia loses this fight, I could definitely see a Berlanga versus Jaime Munguia fight after this. But I would love to see an undefeated Jaime Munguia versus an undefeated Benavidez going toe-to-toe, right? Right before a Canelo fight. This will make Benavidez even more popular. So when he gets in that ring with Canelo, it easily could pass that 1 million pay-per-view buys, or it could definitely get close to that magical or mythical 1 million number. So yeah, this is actually like, this is how everybody feels right here. This is how everybody feels right here if this fight gets put together. And this is what I say about Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. They're willing to go across. They're willing to do that other side of the street stuff. They're not too concerned with that stuff, as they've proven it with Tank Davis, as long as the fight makes sense. And I think a Jaime Munguia versus Benavidez fight, especially off the tail end of people talking about Benavidez versus Canelo, that there's heightened interest in Benavidez. I think this makes a whole lot of sense. All right, let's switch over to back so I can see what you guys are saying. Let's pull up the stuff here. Hold on one second. Let's see. Shane Bosey, like I've said before, it could end up like Hatton Mayweather. I doubt it, but I'm not sure Spencer has a plan B. You're talking about Spence versus Crawford. You think Spence versus Crawford will end up like Hatton Mayweather, where Spence is like Hatton and Terrence Crawford is like Mayweather? It's possible where because a lot of people would forget, but Hatton gave Mayweather some trouble. But because Mayweather knocked him out, nobody really talks about that fight. But that fight, Hatton gave Mayweather a lot of trouble. Mayweather had to constantly adjust. Remember, this was a confident, undefeated Ricky Hatton with over 40-something wins and no losses. He even beat Kasazu. He even beat Jose Luis Castillo, which was a big statement because a lot of people were using that against Floyd Mayweather, even though Floyd Mayweather rematched Jose Luis Castillo and beat him in the rematch. But people still were like, nah, we don't care about that. You rematched him. We only want to pay attention to the first fight. But people were focused on that stuff. And Hatton was like doing his thing. And Mayweather went to the UK to fight him. So this was like a big deal. And then Mayweather was having trouble the whole time, but then ended up knocking him out in the 10th round. It was actually a really cool, really amazing fight. If you've not seen that fight is actually really fun to watch. It's a fun Mayweather fight, even for casual fans, because of the back and forth and the amount of like power punches that were being thrown by both guys. But I can see what you're talking about, because with that high activity, just like Hatton, you get Spence with that high activity, and then Crawford clips him. And with Crawford being one of the best finishers in the game, if not the best finisher, it might be all she wrote for Errol Spence Jr. If they get into that predicament. Last question, as I'm from England and it's late, got to go to bed early. It's all good. Start for me. What fight would you class as the best fight ever? As the best fight ever. Okay, so when I think about the best fight ever, it's hard for me to pick, right? Because I don't want to pick it in the sense of what fight mattered the most. I want to pick it in the sense of what fight was the most electrifying fight, period. And in my opinion, it's between 3 different fights. Rumble in the Jungle, Arturo Gotti versus Mickey Ward. Not the trilogy. The trilogy was but I think the first fight was the craziest one, right? And then is Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo. I think those are the 3. It's hard for me to pick between those 3. But those 3, if I had to pick one of those or a fight, I can't between these 3. I'm being honest with you. But those are the 3 that I find to be the most entertaining in terms of a spectacle that I've ever seen. Are those 3 fights right there? Those 3 fights right there. I don't know if you guys agree. What are your fights? Let me know in the comment section if you guys have fights that you guys think are your favorite fight that you've ever seen before in boxing. All right, let's see. Nice. Don't like the Morrell fight. He's too raw for Benavidez. Yeah, me too. I agree with you 100%, King Juice. A lot of people are like, for some reason, they're like pushing this David Morrell versus Benavidez. David Morrell, like Benavidez is ducking David Morrell and all this stuff. And in my opinion, I'm like, how is he ducking David Morrell and wanting to fight Jaime Munguia? How is that even a duck when Jaime Munguia is like undefeated, got a bunch of fights under his belt, has notable wins, just came off of a crazy war. Like, it's not even close. This man, David Morrell, has no notable fights. He looks stylish against like the fights that you're supposed to look stylish when you're up and when you're starting your career. 9 fights. My man has 9 fights. Like, there's no duck. It's just not interesting. It's just not interesting yet for David Benavidez. People are going to use that to like, especially like Canelo fans that don't like Benavidez, they're going to use that to be like, see, look, he ducking. So don't say that Canelo ducking him because he ducking him. It's like, nah, y'all can't. I'm going to say this again. I've said this before. A fighter cannot fight everybody at the same time. They have to pick somebody. And in my opinion, if he chooses David Morrell over Jaime Munguia, that feels to me like he ducked Jaime Munguia because Jaime Munguia is the better opposition between those 2 guys. More popular, more wins, more established, more notable wins, higher ranked. He's ranked 4th in the world, and David Morrell is ranked like 6th or 7th or even 9th. I'm not even sure. But he's ranked way lower than Jaime Munguia. So even in the rankings, he's lower than Jaime Munguia. Even in terms of amounts of wins and everything, he's lower. You're not getting much out of beating a David Morrell. That's just going to be like, the moment David Benavidez beats him, it's going to be like, yeah, you were supposed to do that. So why waste your time? Might as well just go ahead and fight somebody like a Jaime Munguia, where you'll get a lot more credit off of that, a lot more views off of that, a lot more money off of that, and a lot more notoriety. It's just a better overall situation for him to fight Jaime Munguia, in my opinion. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Hold on one second. He was waiting for his brother to move up for he could move up. Yeah, because they don't want to fight each other. So they want to be able to dominate the divisions, but they don't want to fight each other. You're talking about Jermall, right? Yeah, they don't want to fight each other. Benavidez versus Morrell. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Let's see. Gotti Ward is probably my pick. Gotti Ward. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, Gotti Ward 1. Gotti Ward 1 was crazy. Gotti Ward 1 was crazy. Let's see. Boxing Fanatico, you sound like a... How? Explain. You can't just say... Explain. What? Why? Because I said... Hold on. We always got to show the receipts, right? We always got to show the receipts. Hold on one second. I'm sure you're probably talking about the Morrell fight, right? So let's pull up BoxRec. Let's pull up BoxRec. You already know. You guys already know if y'all was here for episode 26, because we already had BoxRec up, and we already compared the two. Let's see, BoxRec. See, you just want it to be that he's ducking him. You want it to be the case. You want that narrative to linger. And because I'm not letting it linger on my channel, it's like, oh, you see, like, oh, you not saying was the correct thing. Okay, like cool, whatever. That's fine. If that's what you believe. Let's go ahead and look at BoxRec real quick. We got David Morrell here, guys. Rating 4-star on BoxRec, which takes all the analytics of all the people they fought and the notable wins to give you a rating, right? 5 stars is usually that you're the elite of the elite. He is ranked 9th in the world, so I was correct. He's 9th in the world. He only has 9 fights, just 9 fights. He has 8 KOs with 9 fights at super middle. He's the #1 Cuban fighter. He's a southpaw. Okay, cool. Let's look at his notable wins. There aren't any. There's none. Falcao, Ados, Calvin, Henderson, Alantes Fox, Mario Abel, Cazares. Okay. No notable wins. Quentin Rankin, nothing. No notable wins. Then we look at Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia is 42 wins with no losses. 33 by way of knockout. Rating is 5 stars by BoxRec, which looks at all of the fights that he's put together, the fights that he has had, and give him a statistical rating out of 5. He is 5 stars, so that's elite according to BoxRec analytics. This is not like, oh, BoxRec thinks he's elite. This is based off of BoxRec analytics, based off of the fighters he has fought. He is number 4 in the world at super middle, the same division as David Morrell. And he has notable wins against fighters like Gabriel Rosado, Camille, right? Dennis Hogan, right? He got Liam Smith under his belt. He just recently beat Sergey Derevchenko. But somehow, right? David Morrell is a better pick than Jaime Munguia. Make it make sense. Don't just go off of your feelings. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Show me statistically, because you guys know what me is all about, stats. I'm never going to be like, oh, I feel like I want him to fight him, therefore he's the better fighter. It's all about stats, right? Stats will shut me up quick. So show me the numbers that makes more sense for David Benavidez to fight a brand new fighter in David Morrell with only 9 wins, none of which are notable. Number 9 in the world with no notable wins. A 4-star rating on BoxRec in terms of the statistical analysis of his fights versus Jaime Munguia, who's going to bring more promotional. It's going to be better promotionally because more people know who Jaime Munguia is than they know David Morrell. It's a Mexican versus Mexican fight. Those could easily be promoted well. They're going to bring more of that Mexican fan base, which is really good for Benavidez because he's going to need that for the whole Canelo fight that's going to happen in next year. He has more wins, so he could have that under his belt. He's fought notable people. I just want it to make sense. That's it. Like, you can say what you want. Like, you could say, oh no, I think he should fight David Morrell. Just make it make sense for me. Don't just say it because he looked flashy against people that aren't top level fighters. Make it make sense statistically. Why should he do it? Even financially, why should he do it? Even career-wise, in terms of moving his career forward, why should he fight David Morrell instead of Jaime Munguia? At the end of the day, you don't have any answers because there is no better answers. There is no better answers. Let's go ahead and switch over. Let's pull this up here. My man Hashi got the popcorn. You already know, man. We always gotta hit the stats, man. We gotta hit the stats. Hold on. Golden Mode Promotions and PBC Al Haymon will not work together. You know that.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
I'm just gonna click this real quick. I'm just gonna click that real quick. I don't even want to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
They already fought. They already worked together, bro. And they had a successful collaboration. You don't think that sparks more collaboration in the future? You don't think that there's money in a Benavidez versus Jaime Munguia fight? Of course, it's not going to be a Tank versus Ryan money fight, but they've already shown that they could easily collaborate with each other and do 1.2 million pay-per-views between the two companies. Once again, bro, make it make sense. That's all I ask. If you're going to debate, just make it make sense. Why would Oscar De La Hoya put on Twitter? Why would he post this? Why would he post it? What would be the purpose of this? What would be the reason for him to do this? What's the reason for this? Why? To waste time? Why do this? Why? Why say that Jaime Munguia is very interested in fighting Benavidez? Why even spark the flames? Normally, when promoters don't want to do stuff, they just don't even talk about it. Benavidez's camp and team said that they want Jaime Munguia. Oscar De La Hoya, the promoter for Golden Boy, is saying that Jaime Munguia is very interested, which means he's very interested as well. And he's tagging Benavidez. What would be the point of doing that if that is not the fight that he wants to set up? There's no point. There's no political edge to doing something like this unless you actually just want them to fight. Just make it make sense, my man. That's it. That's all I ask. Just make it make sense. That's it. All right, let's go back to
Ladies and gentlemen.
Man, look at them. Even Michael Buffer, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even press it. This dude, he already know. He already knows. Hold on. Analytical, of course. Analytical. That's it, man. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to do for me to be like, okay, I see your point. Just show me the numbers. Just show me the stats. That's it. Berlanga versus Munguia is a fight to make. For me, somebody is going to sleep in that one. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. They definitely going to be going crazy. But Benavidez versus Jaime Munguia, they're going to be going crazy too. They both, any way you cut and slice this fight, they're going to be going crazy. Jaime Munguia versus Berlanga, they're going crazy. Berlanga versus Benavidez, they're going crazy. Although I think Benavidez beats both of them, but in my opinion, both that fight is spectacular any way you cut it and slice it. Any way you cut it and slice it. Munguia versus Benavidez, a better fight. I'm just saying that they will not make the fight because of co-promotion. But okay, we've already addressed that. He's not. You're wrong. I'm sorry. You're just flat out wrong. This, by the way, yes, I can't talk about Undisputed. I'm their content manager, so I could only talk about Undisputed on their social platforms. If you want to see me talk about Undisputed, we got a bunch of videos. I got Let's Plays and stuff on Undisputed. You can go on to the YouTube channel here to watch it, or just check all their socials on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere where you can find social media. We're on there. Let's see. Ryan versus Tank was a money fight. This will also be a money fight. You don't got to do 1.2 million to make a fight come together. You don't have to do that. Munguia versus Charlo did not happen last year because of co-promotion with the Zone. There are, yes, co-promotions can have problems, yes. But when two fighters want to fight each other and the promoters are saying they want them to fight, that changes everything. In terms of the Munguia Charlo fight, that wasn't a thing where the promoters were saying that they wanted the fights to happen. In this instance, the promoters and the fighters are all saying they want it to happen, just like with Tank and Ryan, and they got the fight to happen. They could easily get this fight to happen because it makes sense. It'll make a lot of money. It's a Mexican versus Mexican fight. Those are huge. If he could get it anywhere close to September of some sort, that would help because it's close to their, Independence Day, Independence Week or whatever for the Mexican fan base. They're gonna watch because that's Benavidez, the guy who's being touted as the next top challenger for Canelo. They're gonna keep an eye on him. That's gonna get views just to see if he wins or if he loses or how does he do or whatever. All of those things are polarizing enough to put a fight like this together. And I actually think that a fight like that could do numbers that would shock people. Will it go into the 500,000? No, but I do think it'll shock people. I do think it'll do better numbers than what people think. And I think that the promoters know because they got internal data and they could tell if something's going to pop, if something's going to flop. They have analytics and data behind the scenes to let them know in terms of the fervor, how much people want to see something. I think more people want to see this than do people want to see David Morrell versus Benavidez. Plus, Morrell is just simply not ready yet. We've already shown you the box rec stats. He ain't ready yet. 9 fights versus 42 fights. Both undefeated. Who you gonna pick to elevate your career? You're gonna pick a brand new person that just started fighting and hasn't fought anybody that means anything yet? Or you gonna fight Jaime Munguia, who has like 3 to 4 notable wins and is 42-0? Come on, man. Come on. Facts. You already know, man. Facts.
Ladies
Just
and
like
gentlemen,
Daryl Alexander says.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, someone's O has got to go. Yes, of course, 100%. Either Munguia's O is going to go or David Benavidez's O is going to go, but somebody's O has got to go, right? And even if you throw in Berlanga, he's also undefeated. But I think of the 3, I think Berlanga has more of a chance to lose than any of the other ones. But I do think that Berlanga, as I said earlier in the stream, did really good in his last fight with Quigley on Saturday. Contrary to what was happening with the commentators, I think the commentators were already going in there with a thought process that Berlanga is not like he's just a one trick pony, and I don't get that vibe from Berlanga at all. I don't get the vibe that he's a one trick pony. I think he does more things than people give him credit for. I mean, he was holding the center of the ring well. His cutting off the ring is not that good, but his shot selection is pretty good. His understanding, his adjustments, he was adjusting, throwing the hook to start the combination instead of the jab that caused that second knockdown. Or the first knockdown, I think. He does some smart things in there. He has good movement too. He has good movement on his feet. You know what I'm saying? So he does smart things in there, but he doesn't get that much credit for it. And I think that they should start giving him a little bit more credit, not just going in there with the bias of, oh, this is Berlanga, the knockout guy, just because he knocked out the first 16 fighters he fought in the first round. Hey, the greatest Rocky Marciano, first time here. Thank you for showing up, brother. This is Boxing Fanatico Live, episode 28. We keep doing these every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as I'm closing out because it just hit 8 p.m. So the timing is unfortunate for you, I guess, but the timing is perfect for the send-off. Hit the like, guys, if you haven't hit it yet. Please come back. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so we'll be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time for another episode of Boxing Fanatical Live. We're going to be on episode 29, so we're closing in on episode 30. I'm so hyped. We get more and more people in here every single week. It's just a fun time. We argue, we debate, we talk boxing news, and we look at the stats because that's important, James. That's important, James. Stats. That's very important. We don't go by feelings here. We go by stats. All right, guys. Until the next one, let me send you all off with Michael Buffer real quick because it's always fun to hear him. That's my dude right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
And we will see you guys on the next one. See you guys on Wednesday. Peace out. It was a blast, guys. It was a blast like always. Love this one. This one was really fun. And thank you, Jay Shep, again for that $50 super chat. My goodness. Thank you so much. So much appreciated. Until the next one, guys. Peace out.